Hey, Calvary Chapel, here to share a weekly Devo with you. This one is a bit of a spoiler alert, so if you've got children in the room, I highly recommend they leave in case you disagree with this Devo, and if you want, you can show it to your children after you've seen it. But if you're under the age of maybe 14, you probably don't want to watch this one, not because there's explicit content, just spoiler alerts. So they're out of the room. Santa Claus is not real. I hope that's not a spoiler alert for any of the adults out there. Now, this question comes up at this time of year, and it's always discussed in Christian circles, but what are we supposed to do about Santa Claus? We know in the Bible that we're not supposed to lie. True. That's very clear from Exodus and the Ten Commandments all the way through the rest of the Bible. It's in almost every book of the Bible that we're not supposed to lie. So are we supposed to lie to our children? That's probably more clear than we'd like it to be. No, we're not supposed to lie to our children. That alone is going to be controversial for some of you. You're like, this guy's so legalistic. I can't believe he doesn't lie to his kids about Christmas. This is going to be between you and the Lord, what you do with this Devo, but is Santa Claus real? No. Are we supposed to lie about him to our children? I would say no. My daughter, we used to tell her Santa Claus is not real. She chose to believe in him anyway, and we have not discouraged it or anything like that. And we've got an elf on the shelf, and that's very fun for her as well. But the other day she asked us the question very directly. She said, is Santa Claus real? Well, the story of Saint Nick, he's a real person who was in Turkey, and he was a believer from a very early age. He was from the 300s, and his parents died when he was young, and he had got a big inheritance, and he was extremely generous with the inheritance, and he was so generous that over 1,000 of the early churches were named after him. He's a real person. Is that what you mean? You know, you could go around the question, if you will. I think it's really important, though, to tell your kids accurately where the story came from. I think that's one approach you could take, is just say, yes, and he was a very generous person, and he knew the Lord from a young age, and it'd be wonderful if you knew the Lord from a young age and you were generous from a young age, and he can be a hero in that respect. When he's the jolly man who comes down the chimney and puts the gifts in our houses and all of that starts to get complicated, there's a much more in-depth video on what I'm doing that Mark Driscoll does, and I recommend checking that out if this topic is of interest to you. But I've got more of my personal approach to it. So when my daughter asked me directly, I said, I don't know if you want to know the answer here, but it did cause her to cry, and I told her the truth. But then I explained to her that the idea is really maybe the world's attempt, or the church's attempt, or somehow unintentionally the attempt of humanity to deal with the thankfulness that we're supposed to have and the gifts that we're supposed to be receiving and getting from one another. So I didn't explain it in this complicated of terms for her, in case you're wondering, because she's 7. But I said, you get gifts from Santa at Christmas time, yes. Did those gifts really come from Santa? No. But where do all gifts come from? Every gift comes from above, James 1:17 says. And it's talking about God, and it's talking about Jesus, that all of our gifts are from above. So every single thing we get, period, if it's good, it comes from the Lord. So is Santa real? No. Is somebody much greater than him real, that is actually giving you these gifts and that encourages us to give gifts to one another? Absolutely. And everything that Santa's supposedly able to do, come down a chimney or whatever, it's not that cool anyway, but every single one of those things, of course God is capable of those, and 10,000 times more than what old Saint Nick is capable of. So when we tell our kids the truth and we tell them the accurate version of the story, there's a potential there for a better response and an opportunity to share the gospel with our kids. And my daughter was stoked when I finished telling her that no, Santa's not real, but it's based on somebody who is much more real, and we know he's real, don't we? And don't worry, I'm not ever going to lie to you about this, because the myths surrounding Santa Claus, maybe one day your kids will associate those, maybe they won't, maybe they will, but they'll say, well, you told me Santa was real and that he could come down chimneys and that there were reindeer that would fly, and you lied to me, Mom and Dad, about that. Now I just found out that Jesus might not be real, or why should I believe you about Jesus when you're willing to lie to me about this other mythical character that I believed in? So there's potential danger in lying to your kids for a million different reasons, but one of them is right there, and the Bible tells us not to. So you are going to have to figure out your family traditions and the things that you guys are going to celebrate and how to share things with your kids. I don't encourage my daughter to go around and ruin Christmas for every other kid, but she was old enough to ask the direct question, and now she knows, and maybe your kids are old enough. And anyway, I'd be interested in hearing from you guys and how you deal with this. If you're offended by this video, I'm sorry, you don't have to watch it, but it is the truth, and I don't think it's legalistic, but loving to tell your kids the truth. So anyway, look forward to hearing from you. See you later. Bye-bye.